Just 1 minute. It is a very lucid presentation of a case for change. And I can't see any flaw, can you, in this argument that is put forward on this part, but set in broader context. So one final question to the Chief Minister, if you have the time. Why he spoke about the other things and why I requested is they're all linked. The priority given to excellence in education, a complete makeover, what he calls a revolutionization of the educational situation, can't be seen in isolation from everything else, including the resource crunch and so on, the capital issue. But I just want to ask you about this reverse tendering, because we are in the news business.
Okay.
In some way that is also linked, because that is going to, you told me when I called on you last time that you hope to save 15 to 20% on all major projects. Yeah. And what's the initial experience?
In fact, this was also one of the discussions what both of us had. First time in the country, we brought about a change in the way governance is done, to root out corruption from the bottom. The first time in the country, we've laid guidelines where the country would follow. We made sure that every contract initially goes to a judge before it goes for a tendering process. There is an act what is constituted to look into this. It's called Judicial Preview Act. There's a judge there. Anything what the government is desirous of going for a contract, anything above 100 crores, goes to the judge. Then the judge puts this up in a public domain for 7 days. Anybody, even architects, are given the freedom to suggest to the judge to make any kind of changes whatsoever they deem fit, so as to make changes in the contractual terms. In that public domain, for 7 days it is put, anybody could make those changes, because most of the scams usually take place because the contracts are made tailor-made to suit a few people beforehand. So to avoid that, we made sure that the judge sits down there, heads that preview commission, he puts it up in public domain, and he takes opinions from everybody whomsoever wants to give. Then in his own wisdom, after he takes opinion, he makes the requisite changes to the contract documents in discussion with the department. After that, it goes for tendering. And after it goes for tendering, people who quote in the tender process, whomsoever quotes L1, the lowest, without mentioning his name, the name of the firm or name of the company, the amount is displayed. Next day the auction takes place. So everybody who participated in the tender, who scratched their head and think, I could have quoted less, are now given the option to compete in the reverse tendering process. Every 15 minutes the number changes and they are competing. So this is what we've done. In fact, what this actually had done in these 7 months' time, some of the contracts what were earlier awarded by the previous government, what reeked of corruption, we cancelled them. We went for this reverse tendering. And in these 7 months, almost 2,000 crores of money was literally saved. Meaning, this 2,000 crores was earlier the number what the tender was loaded with. Since we cancelled the tender, since we went for reverse tendering, the very same work what was awarded at X rate has now become X minus this rate. If we would have not gone for reverse tendering and not cancelled these works, we would have had to pay this 2,000 crores extra to the same contractors to execute the same work. Now, with this reverse tendering coming into the picture, since there is nobody to ask them bribes, close to 2,000 crores is literally being saved in various works. To give an example, I'll give you a TIDCO. This is for housing for weaker section. This was earlier quoted at 2,700 crores or so. Now the same works what have cancelled and what have come now have come at 2,300 crores. This is TIDCO. Polavaram versus earlier contract versus now the reverse tendering, after reverse tendering, 830 crores saving. Rather than the rates to go up, rates have come down. So is the case with so many things what have been happening. Almost close to 2,000 crores have been saved. And now this has become the model for the state. Any tender now what is to be tendered goes through this process, and I am very confident that this will soon catch up for the entire country, where transparency is to a different level.